Welcome back to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Menti. We continue to meet the candidates. Meet Daryl Kipnis, who is the Republican candidate in the 12th Congressional District, running against incumbent Bonnie Watson-Coleman in the 12th District, as we just talked about, Mercer, Middlesex, Union, Somerset, parts of all those counties. These districts are getting ridiculous, but we can talk about that another time. Why don't we talk about you? Sure. I'd like to start off just by getting a candidate to introduce himself to the viewers and the voters.
Sure. My name is Daryl Kipnis. This is my second time running for public office in New Jersey. I ran for the state senate in District 17 last year as a father of 3 kids and a small business owner. I'm an attorney with my own solo practice. I understand that it's very, very unaffordable for families to live in New Jersey. We're here because our families are here. We're here because New Jersey has been our home, and we love everything it has to offer. But unfortunately, the high cost of living and the property taxes and things of that nature make it very, very difficult for people. And we were fortunate enough when we got out of school and my wife and I got married that we were able to stay and live here. But for many other young people now that are just graduating college and looking to start their professional careers, it's very difficult and it's very expensive. And the reason why is because there's failed leadership, that there's a lot of incumbents that keep getting reelected and they serve their own insider groups, and I am not connected to any of that. I'm just coming in as a person who wants to be there as a friend to everybody, who really understands how difficult it is and wants to help.
And yet, it's very difficult for a freshman congressman, which you would be, as a number of 500 and some,
sure,
to enact a difference in what you're talking about, specifically about the cost of living in New Jersey, except for a couple of things: the tariffs, which is a Republican president, and the SALT deductions, which would be a Republican president. They are 2 big issues in New Jersey. Where do you stand on the tariffs and the SALT deductions?
Well, the tariffs and the SALT deductions, I have a plan to sort of ameliorate any adverse effects that those things may have. With regard to the SALT deductions, I don't think it's going to affect anybody outside of the very, very wealthy that pay very high property taxes in New Jersey. But my plan is...
The cap's $10,000.
Yes.
And if you add up all your state and local taxes, that's not just the very rich.
Well, it also doubles the standard deduction. So anyway, what my plan is as long as you're not in the 2 highest federal tax brackets, I want to introduce what's known as the Rainy Day Act. And what my proposal is as long as you're not, like I said, in the 2 highest, you'll be able to take a certain amount of your money every year. You can have it directly deposited by your employer into a special type of bank account known as a rainy day account every year, federal income tax free, and you'll be able to use that money anytime you have an emergent expense that comes up that exceeds a certain portion of your gross income. So in other words, if a tree falls on your house, God forbid, if your transmission dies on your car, if something comes up, and everybody has these things come up in their lives all the time, and what makes it so hard is it's a spike in spending, it's a spike in terms of what your income is. So many people in New Jersey, especially in my district,
I got it, but
live paycheck to paycheck, so this will give you a reserve.
Does that mean you're against raising the cap on the SALT deductions?
I'll do anything and everything that I can to try to keep more money in people's pocket in New Jersey.
How about the tariffs? Are they hurting New Jersey?
Tariffs, I don't know for certain that they're hurting New Jersey. And I think the president's idea behind the tariffs is to, and he's been successful to some extent with it, is to it's to negotiate from a position of strength. He announces tariffs, and then the EU announces that they're going to play ball in terms of lowering some things on their side.
So you believe, like the president says, a short-term pain is going to give us a long-term gain?
That's the plan, and he's been successful to some extent with it. As in general, I'm a free trade guy. I'm not really a fan of tariffs, but at least in the instance that I mentioned, it looks like they may end up getting a better deal for American workers, because that's what I think the president's looking out for.
In this midterm election, Donald Trump cast a big shadow, and so it gets standard to ask people, especially Republican candidates, how they feel about the president, how supportive they are of him. Are you a strong supporter of Donald Trump?
The president and I want the same 2 things for everybody. They want everyone to be safe, every American to be safe, every American to be prosperous. What I want to do lines up with what he wants to achieve in that regard.
So you're a Make America First guy?
America First, yep, absolutely. And you can't argue with the results that he's achieved. Maybe some people argue with the tone. Maybe some people take exception to some things that he says, and even I've been included in that group sometimes. But you can't argue with the results. Unemployment is going down. Minority employment is at its lowest point. Huge consumer confidence. The stock market was doing excellent. Jobs are coming back. President Obama said there's no magic wand that'll bring the jobs back. The jobs are coming back. A lot of great things are happening nationally, but due to the nature of New Jersey and the policies that the Murphy administration and the Democrat legislature implement here, it hampers, our ability in New Jersey to share in the successes of the rest of the country. So what I want is for New Jersey not only to share in the success of the rest of the country, but also for the country to share in the success of New Jersey.
Let's talk about politics just a little bit. If you look at all the prognosticators, like the Cook Report, which is one of the ones you go to see how races stack up, they have Bonnie Watson Coleman winning easily. And so how much does that hamper you? What is your path to victory?
Well, here's the path to victory is this: it's known and it's been considered by the pundits and the prognosticators who have known to have been wrong. If you look at 2016, they were wrong in a very big way. But it's been known as a Democrat district. But what we're seeing with the Democrat Party nationally and even locally with the Murphy administration is that the Democrat Party is leaving a lot of their base. It's leaving a lot of the traditional labor, blue collar that was considered part of the base, and it's moving towards the far extreme left. You have Maxine Waters in California telling people to get up and create a crowd and push back on supporters of the president.
Are you comparing Bonnie Watson Coleman to Maxine Waters?
Well, in the sense that I have put out tweets and Facebook posts numerous times asking her and Phil Murphy and Bob Menendez to disavow and to condemn the rhetoric of Maxine Waters and others on the left who are calling for agitation. I asked her to condemn what happened in Philadelphia with Antifa protesters harassing Candace Owens. She's a black woman for her conservative views. Silence from the opposition.
Speaking of Maxine Waters, do you believe that if there's a Democratic minority in the House, impeachment proceedings will begin?
If there's Democratic majority, you mean?
Yes. Is that what I thought I said that?
Well, it's a lot of them are saying they want to do it, and Bonnie Watson Coleman and Frank Pallone were a couple that said that they would move forward with impeachment and believe that they have actually voted towards advancing the debate on it, although it obviously would go nowhere now. But then there's some in the leadership that are Pelosi and Schumer that are kind of backing away from the impeachment talk. I think the impeachment talk only helps the Republicans. I think the rest of the country, and even in New Jersey, everyone sees the successes of the president, and they don't want him to be impeached by the Democrats for political reasons simply because they don't like him. They want to see the successes forward. People care about their wallets. They care about their pocketbooks. And with the president and the Republican majority, they have that in mind.
Great. Thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming in. Daryl Kipnis is the Republican candidate in New Jersey's 12th Congressional District.
Thank you.
Jersey Matters continues right after this.